when all of this is over,
the first thing that I'm going to do...
What am I going to do once the quarantine's over? Okay.
I want to go out and get wasted and spend all of my money and max out all my credit cards on alcohol and drugs and clubs and everything.
It'll be like one long brunch, like one endless brunch.
And that's pretty much exactly how people who lived through the 1918 flu pandemic felt. When it finally ended in 1919, it had killed more than 50 million people. Another 20 million had died in World War I. After so many years of destruction and pain, the world was ready for a release. Americans were ready to rage.
Maybe we'll even get blotto.
F. Scott Fitzgerald, patron saint of gin and good times, was there to document it all.
Something had to be done with all the nervous energy stored up and unexpended in the war.
After being forced to keep away from one another, the lost generation jammed itself into sweaty speakeasies and got shit-faced.
A whole race going hedonistic, deciding on pleasure.
Everyone got a little looser. They were listening to jazz and showing off their legs and grinding up on each other. People were making money and spending it freely.
The whole upper tenth of a nation living with the insouciance of grand dukes and the casualness of chorus girls. Even when you were broke, you didn't worry about money because it was in such profusion around you.
People were living out their fantasies, and many of them had no interest in revisiting the darkness of the past, especially at the movies. Only the film studios that could pivot away from dull, patriotic war movies survived by reinventing themselves, along with Hollywood, whose sign went up in 1923. Literature was just as hedonistic. Fitzgerald, Hemingway, Gertrude Stein, and Kay Boyle ran away to Paris to drink and write about anything but the flu. Totally failing to read the room, the government tried mandatory sobriety.
Enough good hard liquor went down the drain to make you feel like crying.
I believe strongly that such a law as one prohibiting liquor is foolish. And all the writers, keenly interested in human welfare whom I know, laugh at the prohibition law.
It wasn't just writers who thought this was ridiculous. Average Americans had mountains of evidence the government didn't care about their welfare. During the pandemic, politicians and business leaders had seemed more worried about the economy than protecting people. President Woodrow Wilson had never given a single statement about the flu, and newspapers had either downplayed or outright ignored it. In Chicago, an official had refused to close businesses, saying worry kills more people than the epidemic. And all that still didn't keep the economy strong for long.
The 10-year period that, as if reluctant to die outmoded in its bed, leaped to a spectacular death in October 1929.
The partying ended just as quickly as it started.
Somebody had blundered, and the most expensive orgy in history was over.
But some aspects of the cultural shift weren't wiped out by the crash. The flu had exposed the fact that workers didn't have sick days, and going in was making everyone sicker. In the following decades, countries around the world built robust public healthcare systems. The US went with an employer-provided system. Which brings us back to today.
I doubt this is going to be like a big wake-up call for like boomers and stuff. Like people are talking about like everyone will be kinder and like save the earth.
We have an opportunity to kind of, reset that status quo in a way that helps, benefits, and takes care of the people that this whole situation has left behind.
but really, who knows? That's kind of the bottom line. I really have no idea. I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't even know what day it is tomorrow, so...
I'm ready to get